Since the digestive system is a tube, when we ingest an essential oil, it is essentially a topical application to the tube. So let's talk about using essential oils topically for the tube that is the digestive tube. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Minke. This is Minke Wellness. And I'm not just making fun here. This is just the reality of what the tube is. I mean, we actually have this tube from mouth to anus that is still outside the body. When we put an essential oil on over here, like on the back of the hand, we would consider that a topical application because we kind of see it as being on the outside of the body. But when we ingest an essential oil or anything actually, it is still outside the body. So I'm considering it a topical application to this digestive tube, okay? And then of course it moves into the tissue, into the bloodstream, which now we would consider that a supplement. So let's look at what essential oils we already have in something like the premium. Here's my premium starter kit, right? I got my premium starter kit, and we have some essential oils in here that might be helpful for the digestive tube, okay? And we will, of course, stick with these oils that are labeled as Vitality as a supplement, because, of course, if we're ingesting that it would be considered a supplement. But I want you to think about this as using it as a topical application to this tube, this digestive tube. Okay, so when we put an essential oil in water, it floats on the surface, and oil and water don't mix. So essential oils are fat soluble, right? And the water, of course, so the essential oil floats. When we take that water, drink it, now the essential oil is going to move toward the fat, anywhere that's fat, because it's fat soluble. So the tissue cells in the mouth lining of the entire tube, the cells are layered. I mean, they're covered in a layer of fat, which is the phospholipid layer of the membrane. So that's a fatty layer. And so the essential oil molecules are going to be moving toward that. The water actually pushes the essential oil into the tissue because it's like basically it's pushing the essential oil away from itself. These are hydrophobic. They're afraid of water, essentially, these essential oil molecules, and they run away from water toward fat. And so when we drink that, it goes running into the fat tissue, and it's very quick, and you can feel it. And this is what we've been talking about when we talked about using the essential oils and putting them in water and drinking them, as we did in the last month. You can feel whoosh, that effect of the essential oil penetrating into the tissue, and you can feel it go into the blood. Well, that's why it moves so quickly, because they're very, very small molecules, they're fat soluble, and they're being pushed by the water. So it's one of the ways that we can use use water essentially to drive the essential oils in when we're taking them internally, or in this case, looking to apply them to the surface or topically to the tube, the digestive tube. Okay, so what are some of the oils? In my kit here, and it may vary, one kit to another, so if you don't have exactly these, then kind of bear with me, but I've got the Vitality Frankincense, the Vitality Peppermint, Vitality Lemon, sorry, I'm having trouble pulling these out, the Vitality Lemon and the Vitality Digest. There's also a Vitality Thieves, but I'm not going to be using that one. It seems too harsh, too strong for something I would be using. Although, absolutely nothing wrong with the Thieves in a mouth product for sure, because the Thieves toothpaste, the Thieves mouthwash, all has the Thieves blend in it. So we could definitely, if I really wanted to work with the mouth, as a way to support the mouth, I would definitely put a drop of Thieves oil and swish it around and swallow. So we're going to talk about the swish and swallow technique. And again, we're going to put the essential oils in the water, swish and swallow. And when we swish, we're getting the mouth affected, and then swallow. And then as the water goes down that contains the essential oil, those essential oil molecules are going to get pushed into the esophagus, the tissue of the esophagus, and then eventually as it goes into the stomach. So I think you'll probably find, as I do, that most of the effect, most of the oil, or much of the oil, is absorbed right away up at the top, on the upper, the mouth, throat, and esophagus. And by the time it gets down to the stomach, there's not nearly as much oil. And it's probably not as much of a sensation as well. So we feel it up here in the esophagus. We don't necessarily feel it as much in the stomach, but that oil is moving in. So any of these oils would be reasonable choices. I want to point out here actually that I actually do have a Vitality Lavender as well. And so I'm going to mention Vitality Lavender in a little blend that we have found to be very soothing for the esophagus. So in terms of the digestion itself, if I really wanted to, if I had problems with an irritated esophagus, and again, I still consider this to be outside the body, so I would want a topical application to the esophagus. I'm not trying to affect a body system. That's why I'm calling it this. If I were drinking this as a supplement, trying to help the liver, right, I would support the liver or support digestion or support the immune system, you see what I'm saying? Then I'm using it as a supplement from that thought process. But I'm making a distinction here that I'm really wanting to actually help the tube, which is still a very topical application. It's the actual tube itself that I'm trying to support or help or soothe. In most cases, what we're talking about is soothing the skin. And this would be soothing the skin, essentially the epithelial lining, which the tube is lined with epithelium. They're specialized epithelium, but they're still a skin-like surface. It's the same origin in terms of the tissues, the embryonic tissues, the same origin of the skin. So it's really the skin in the tube and the skin on the outside of the body, but I think of it the same way as a topical. So the lemon itself, just straight lemon oil, is a fabulous, kind of a cleanser. It has a nice cleansing feeling. If you would put that on your skin topically, you might feel a nice cleansing tingle. It's it's relatively gentle, and so it's the same way if we were working with the tube. It's a gentle cleansing, a gentle support for that surface, and of course we could put as many drops as you want, 1, 2, 5, 10, drops of lemon oil. It's a very, very gentle oil, and it's extremely non-toxic. The levels of toxicity for ingesting lemon oil are huge. 250 drops a day for many days in a row without any negative effects. So it's extremely non-toxic, very gentle oil. You can take a lot of it. So what I'm saying is you don't have to be afraid of putting a couple drops of lemon oil in your water and taking that as part of this a swish and swallow kind of approach. But I want to introduce you to something that to soothe the esophagus is a little blend that we found to be very potent, and I'm going to go ahead and make that blend here. And I'm just going to put 1 drop of each of frankincense, peppermint, and lavender in my water, and then we do a little swish and swallow. And so I've got my 1 drop of Vitality Lavender, and then my 1 drop of Vitality Frankincense, and then I'll show you, actually, I'm sorry, I should have been showing you my 1 drop of Vitality Peppermint, and it looks like my Vitality Peppermint is out, so I might have to refill my Vitality Peppermint oil bottle. So here is the 1 drop of Vitality Peppermint. So now I've got that in my glass of water. Hard to see. I don't think you can tell that there's this floating on the surface. And so I might actually, here's my very effective stirring rod, and stir this up, right? And I want to try to get some of that down in there, okay? And of course, that gives me the nice flavor. And so here is my swish and swallow. Okay, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to just finish up this water. And I'm swirling the glass because the essential oil tends to kind of stick on the side of the glass. Okay, now, if you're not used to the flavor of essential oils, this can be pretty strong. But the soothing effect of on the esophagus is tremendous. For someone who has a very raw esophagus for whatever reason, there's some people have a very irritated esophagus. This is a fabulous little blend. It's amazing. You can put those 3 drops in the water and swish and swallow. And of course, these are great. You can use them, all throughout the day. Even if they had to do it every hour to get that soothing effect, that would be totally fine. That's not too much. So it's obviously making it down into the stomach. So let's talk about another oil that we would use for the stomach. And that might be something like digestive, okay? And so digestive, I would again do the swish and swallow. I just drank all my water, so I'm not going to put it in there. I could actually just do it that way. Okay, just putting a drop in the mouth, swishing here, and swallowing what little saliva I have. Now, that's a lot stronger than the water version because, of course, I'm putting it straight in. And so I'm really getting most of it in the mouth, and it's not necessarily getting down to the stomach. But the digest for support of the digestion, fabulous, fabulous oil to do a swish and swallow on. Okay, so again, we're working with the upper, the mouth, and the esophagus and stomach. And then as we go along here, we'll get further down. But I just wanted to show you what I would consider a topical application to help the tube. So topical for the tube is the name of the video, and this is the explanation here. Again, just going through that formula: 1 drop of frankincense, Vitality frankincense, 1 drop of Vitality lavender, and 1 drop of Vitality peppermint. And that is a fabulous little point. And you put that in water, swish and swallow in about 4 to 6 ounces of water. It doesn't really matter how much water. Very, very soothing to the esophagus. And then digestive could be very soothing to the stomach. Swish and swallow. Like I said, if you've ever tried, if you did what I just did and I put a drop in my mouth, I'm still feeling most of that digest up in my mouth. Not a whole lot I feel down in the stomach because it's just too intense to get to the stomach, and it's all staying right up here. So I would need more water to chase that down. Okay, so one quick safety thing. What if I were to do this and I put that oil in there and I'm like, oh my goodness, it is burning, it's burning, oh, ow, 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 what if that were the experience? Then I would want to grab some vegetable oil, olive oil, and a little bit of olive oil, and swish and swallow the olive oil. And it will immediately pull the essential oil off of the surface of the esophagus, of the tube, and wash it down into the stomach. So no worries. If you do have a bad reaction taking an oil in the tube, then you can always dilute that just like you would on the surface of the skin. It really is the same concept that if you put some an oil on the skin and it started burning, an essential oil on the skin, it started burning, you would dilute that with a vegetable oil, coconut oil, olive oil, it doesn't really matter, V6 mixing oil. You would dilute that and you keep rubbing it and diluting it until the burning stops. Same thing in the tube. If you're having a bad experience, you can swish and swallow olive oil, and I have done this before when I was using oregano, and it was just too strong, and it was just really, really burning and very, very uncomfortable. And so I took some olive oil, swish and swallow, and it took maybe 3 sips to get it all the way coated, but that coated all the way down the esophagus, take care of the problem right away. Okay, so that's my lesson for today, taking essential oils, using them internally for a topical application to help with the tube. I hope this has been helpful, and keep happy wellness, keep tabs with us. Let me know what you want for this month. Let me know what your concerns are for for the digestive system, and we'll try to answer some questions and things like that. But looking forward to this whole month, and I'm at this end of the week, so we'll be picking it up next week, and we'll see you tomorrow for the review.